Most people, they see dumb characters as, well, just dumb. But that's not the whole story. In fact, a lot of the time, they're not nearly as stupid as they want you to believe. In fact, some of them act dumb on purpose. They've got motives. So, which of these characters portrayed as dumb are actually geniuses? And why are we being set up to misread them? To understand this, we must start with Patrick Star. This massive pillock spends most of the show proving that you can get more brain activity from rocks than from a starfish. The man has forgotten how to eat, mistaken a jar of mayonnaise for an instrument, and once pushed Bikini Bottom somewhere else because he was afraid of the Alaskan bullworm.
We should take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else!
That idea may just be crazy enough to get us all killed!
I don't think I'd be wrong in saying that he's pretty damn stupid. But then you've got moments when he just kinda isn't. Like in the episode where Patrick falls off a cliff and loses the top of his head. Yeah, his entire pink noggin just pops off like a bottle cap.
Is the rest of you down there?
The rest of me's up here.
Ooh, you had me worried there, buddy. Here's your head.
SpongeBob, being the good friend he is, finds some brain coral and sticks it on Patrick's head as a replacement. And suddenly, Patrick becomes a bloody genius. He starts using words like indubitably and salutations, which aren't like the biggest words out there, but for Patrick, it might as well be the same as perfectly memorizing a whole-ass thesaurus. Then, he even goes on to fix one of Sandy's mathematical equations for her.
Well, Patrick, what do you think about this problem?
You simply change the literal term to a coefficient, and the minuend will achieve the desired quotient. Even the simplest of mammals could figure it out with a little thought.
The starfish who can barely figure out how to walk straight can now speak like he's got a PhD in marine biology. And he could have very easily just lived life like this, remain a super genius, and maybe go on to solve a few world problems or whatever. But instead, he chooses to give it up when he realises that being smart is making him lose his friendship with SpongeBob. He voluntarily takes off the brain coral and goes back to being thick as pig.
Here you go, Patrick. Your old head. Patrick. Say something, Patrick.
Sponge.
Patrick, you're back.
Now, the question we need to ask is, how long has Patrick just been able to do that? Can he at any moment just become a genius? Who's to say he's never put that brain coral back on? The episode suggests that he has to be dumb to maintain his friendships. So who's to say he hasn't been just pretending to be stupid this whole time? Either way, watching Patrick go from the mayor of Stupid Town to solving equations that would make Stephen Hawking sweat is absolutely wild. And it was honestly the first thing that made me start going down this rabbit hole in the first place. And that eventually led me to my second suspect, Homer J. Simpson, a man whose intelligence has been questioned more times than I've questioned my life choices. And trust me, that's quite a lot. For over 30 years, Homer has been the poster child for the bumbling dad stereotype. And that stereotype didn't come out of bloody nowhere either. He works at a nuclear power plant and doesn't know what a nuclear power plant does. He's forgotten his own wife's name, caused a bloody nuclear meltdown in the back of a van, and somehow set a bloody bowl of cereal on fire. It takes a special kind of skill to be that stupid at all times. But what if I told you that Homer isn't actually that stupid? We've seen signs of it here and there, like Homer actually being an absolute genius at chess for some damn reason.
Checkmate. Another victim of the Budapest Gambit.
Beyond that, Homer isn't naturally stupid. He's artificially stupid. Turns out, when Homer was a kid, he shoved a crayon so far up his nose that it lodged itself in his brain, lowering his IQ by roughly 50 points. When doctors remove the crayon, Homer transforms into a completely different person.
I don't believe it. Say something else smart.
Dr. Joyce Brothers may be well known, but her psychological credentials are highly suspect.
He starts doing shit that I don't even think I can do, and I'm definitely not an idiot. All the time. For the first time in the series, Homer is smart. Like, properly smart. And he's absolutely miserable. Yeah, if I had a penny for every time an absolutely character became smart and realised that the world sucks, well, I'd have a good number of pennies because this happens quite a lot. For Homer, his intelligence makes him see all the problems with his life, his job, and the world around him. His friends don't understand him anymore, and he can't enjoy the simple pleasures he used to love. Being smart made Homer aware of just how messed up everything is, and he just couldn't handle it. So, what does he do? He has Moe hammer the crayon back into his brain.
Defense! Defense!
That's pretty dumb, but,
Extended warranty? How can I lose?
Homer literally chooses to be stupid because ignorance is genuinely bliss for him. And you know what? I can't even blame the man. Sometimes I wish I could shove a crayon in my brain and forget about all the terrible cartoon parents I've had to research for this channel. And 2 for 2 on dumb characters that are actually geniuses, but have chosen to be morons because, well, life's just easier that way. Makes you think that maybe we can learn a thing or two from them, eh? Well, not from everyone. Cosmo the fairy is definitely not someone you should be learning anything from. This man has caused more magical catastrophes than any other fairy in history. He's destroyed Atlantis 9 times and once granted a wish that literally sank Atlantis again just by thinking about it.
That's pretty harsh for sinking Atlantis one time.
Actually, I sank it 9 times.
9 times?
So I guess that means he destroyed Atlantis 10 times. And yet, somehow, despite being portrayed as the dumbest fairy in existence, he occasionally has these moments where he's surprisingly competent. And it makes you wonder if he's been playing everyone this whole time. In the episode CosmoCon, Cosmo successfully organises and hosts an entire fairy convention. I remember hosting a family get-together last year. Nightmare. God, the dishes I had to wash, the people I had to talk to, and that was for the few people that showed up. Cosmo hosted an event for the bloody whole of the fairy world. That means a lot of dedication, planning, and intelligence that he really should not have. I mean, come on. This is the same fairy who couldn't remember which end of the wand to point at things. And yet he somehow managed to coordinate a massive event with hundreds of fairies without burning down the universe.
CosmoCon? Fairy convention?
I got to pick the location of this year's Secret Fairy Convention.
The show implies that Cosmo's stupidity is partly an act, or at least that he's dumbed down over time. Truth be told, in the earlier episodes of the series, Cosmo wasn't even that stupid. He had his shortcomings, sure, but he was just as smart as Wanda. Hell, sometimes Wanda was the smart one of the pair. But even in later seasons, there were moments sprinkled throughout the series where Cosmo showed surprising levels of emotional intelligence and plain competence that completely contradicts his usual behaviour. Is Cosmo genuinely stupid, or is he just so chaotic and impulsive that people assume he's thick? The show never really gives a straight answer, but the fact that he's married to Wanda, who is brilliant, and has survived this long despite destroying Atlantis 10 bloody times, suggests that there's more going on in that green head than we think. Either that, or the man is just the luckiest idiot alive. I've no idea which one I believe, but somehow the stupidity gets worse. And this isn't even the limit. Philip J. Fry is yet another moron who is so monumentally stupid that he accidentally became humanity's greatest asset. And no, I'm not exaggerating. Fry is introduced as a pizza delivery boy who is so dumb he falls into a cryogenic freezer and wakes up 1,000 years later in the future. Throughout the series, he proves time and time again that he's a complete moron. He's somehow incompetent at everything he does, and does the most idiotic things ever on a daily basis.
What tool is used to hammer a nail? Is it A, a hammer, B, a nail, C...
B, nail. Final answer.
But Futurama's not your run-of-the-mill show with the idiot main character. It actually does something I've never seen before, by making Fry's stupidity a superpower. Yeah, it shocked me too when I saw it, but let me explain. It made him lack the delta brainwave that most humans have. This makes him completely immune to psychic attacks and mind control.
The brain spawns suppress intelligence by attacking the delta brainwave. Every animal and robot in the universe generates this wave, as do certain trees.
Fry, however, does not.
In multiple episodes, Fry's unique brand of stupidity saves the entire universe because his brain is too scrambled for alien invaders to read or control. In one episode, an antagonist called the Big Brain couldn't outsmart Fry because there was nothing to outsmart. Fry defeated a hyper-intelligent alien by being too dumb to manipulate. I don't know how, but this man is the definition of weaponized incompetence. I wish I had that as a superpower, but I can't weaponize mine. And the weird part is that just like everyone else we've seen on this list, he's also not completely a moron. Fry's shown surprising emotional intelligence and problem-solving skills when it really matters.
Case. The Big Brain laughed in triumph. Ha ha ha! Then, for no reason, he left Earth forever. The end. There. Now he's trapped in a book I wrote. A crummy world of plot holes and spelling errors.
He's not smart in a traditional sense, but he's clever in ways that book-smart people aren't. While everyone is trying to figure out things using logic and reason, Fry's thinking outside the box because he had no idea there was a box. So, is Fry dumb? Yes, he is somehow dumber than you probably give him credit for. But he's also smart when it matters, while also using his stupidity in ways that have saved the universe multiple times. It makes no sense, but what exactly about Futurama has made sense? But we've talked so much about characters that are dumb, but something crazy has happened to make them smart. What about characters that might actually just be, well, smart? My candidate for that would be Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove. This absolute unit spends most of the show being portrayed as Ema's dumb muscle. He can't understand basic instructions, and it's pretty bad to rely on him for anything.
Where's the other guy?
Yo! Sorry, I'm late. So, what'd I miss?
But I still don't think he's actually dumb. He's just really, really good-natured and trusts the wrong people. Call it naivety. And don't worry, I come to you with evidence. First of all, Kronk is an exceptional cook who can whip up gourmet spinach puffs while discussing the finer points of cuisine. He speaks squirrel fluently and has an entire network of woodland creature informants. He's also physically capable and incredibly emotionally intelligent. There's also been times where he's shown surprising competence in basically every skill that doesn't involve following Isma's evil schemes.
There's a wall there. Trust me.
Are you talking to that squirrel?
I was a junior chipmunk. I had to be versed in all the woodland creatures. Please continue.
I could actually go on and on. I think the problem here is he's a potential superhero trying to be an evil villain's henchman because he's just too damn nice to say no. When he finally does realise that what they're doing is wrong, he immediately switches sides and helps Pasha and Kuzco. Gronk's stupidity is really just because he's trying to fit in a box someone else is trying to shove him into. I'm pretty sure if you put him anywhere else, he would absolutely thrive in life. All he has to do is just stop listening to people who take advantage of his good nature. And don't take my word for it. By the end of the movie, Kronk gets his happy ending running a restaurant and living his best life, proving that he was never the problem. He just needed to finally be the one calling the shots in his own life.
Omelet with wheat toast. You got it?
Can do.
What's taking so long?
Back up.
Kronk, what are you doing?
Kinda busy here.
Why am I not surprised?
Your order's up.
Oh well. While you're at it, make me the special. And hold the gravy.
Check. Back up.
You know what?
So, yeah. Kronk proves that stupid characters can actually be smart if you put them in the proper places. Anyways, who's the next character? Oh, Ed! Yeah, so throw all that I just told you out the bloody window. Ed is that lovable oaf that completes the trio of Ed, Ed, and Eddie. His hobbies include smiling, laughing like an idiot, following Eddie's plans, and eating dirt, only on special occasions.
Listen carefully now. Do not eat that dirt.
What an idiot! I thought you said not to eat the dirt.
There's no sugarcoating this one, guys. Ed's dumb, in every definition of the word. And yet, this muscle Ed has something that shows up at the most random bloody times. Incredibly specific, encyclopedic knowledge about things that he's passionate about. Ed knows everything about monster movies, every actor, every plot point, every obscure B-movie reference. He can recite entire scenes from memory and knows more about horror film trivia than most film students. When the topic is something he cares about, Ed transforms from a complete numpty into a walking encyclopedia.
Chasing Phantoms, a dissertation on unifying field theory and its effect on leptons and quasars.
And that's just movies. But Ed's beautiful soul has so much passion that it's hard to keep up. Throughout the series, Ed occasionally drops moments of surprising wisdom or insight that catches everyone off guard. He's not consistently smart, but he has these flashes of brilliance that suggest there's a lot more going on in his head than people give him credit for. And let's not forget, he's still a kid. Those kids are like 13 tops. Every other person we've talked about in this list so far has been a grown adult, but Ed's still got a good way to go. I think he'll be fine. And speaking of dumb kids, remember Billy from Billy and Mandy? And remember what I said about kids having a long way to go? Yeah, nah, throw that bloody shit out the window too. Billy's a character so monumentally stupid that he makes every other character on this list look like Stephen Bloody Hawking. And yet, he's like a combination of every other character on this list in one ball of stupidity.
Billy, are you in there?
That's
Billy, all right.
This kid has the IQ of a particularly interesting rock and the attention span of a goldfish on crack. He's somehow Ed, but way, way, way worse. The kid's basically chaos incarnate, and I do not mean that lightly. He is probably so stupid that his idiocracy becomes a legitimate threat to reality itself.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
But sometimes, and I really have to stress it here when I say sometimes, Billy has these moments of unexpected clarity that are actually genuinely shocking. Sometimes his stupidity accidentally solves problems that his intelligence can't. Just like Fry, he's such an actual moron that you can actually see it as a superpower. Imagine you're fighting against this kid, laying out all these elaborate schemes and traps, and Billy comes charging in like a human wrecking ball, destroying everything while laughing that stupid bloody laugh of his. He's practically unbeatable, because 99% of the time, I don't even think he knows he's in danger. And then, just like Patrick, there are these rare moments where Billy says something surprisingly wise, usually completely by accident, before immediately going back to eating paste or whatever nonsense he was doing before.
You gotta believe me, Mandy! The clowns are nothing but ultimate evil!
I don't know how, but Billy is such a moron that he's like the horrifying love child of every other cartoon moron ever made.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
And that somehow makes him not a moron. You know one of my videos is good when I'm about to crash out on my own logic. If that's not worth a like and a subscription, I don't know what is. And now that we've talked about the true incarnation of stupidity, let's talk about the opposite. Don't worry, I'll tell you what I mean. Sus Ramirez from Gravity Falls is a man who is constantly underestimated because he's kind and childlike, which people mistake for stupidity. People see him as nothing but a simple, lovable handyman who fixes things around the Mystery Shack and says dude a lot. If you look at him from a surface level, he's just a simpleton with not much to him.
Also not it.
Nobody asked you, Seuss.
I know, and I'm comfortable with that.
What?
But to be honest, Sus has to be the only character on this list that's actually not dumb. Like, yeah, he messes up a lot. Like the time he squashes a fairy that Dipper had spent all day searching for.
Look, a fairy!
Oh, sorry, dude.
But despite his mess-ups, Sus is actually incredibly emotionally intelligent, surprisingly perceptive, and more capable than anyone gives him credit for. Let's start from the fact that he's really good at making up repairs in his shack. There's a reason a cheapskate like Stan keeps him around after all. But beyond that, he also solved a fair share of puzzles.
But you gotta have evidence. Otherwise, people are gonna think you're a Major League cuckoo clock.
You're right.
That had even the kids stumped. He's pretty much the ultimate form of the dumb trope, as far as I'm concerned. Not that dumb, while still managing to be competent on his own. At the end of the series, he even became Mr. Mystery himself, taking over from Stan. He's kind of like Michael from The Office, who acts pretty dumb, is a bit of a knobhead, but ultimately is great at his job. And if you know the Mystery Shack, you know you have to have some smarts to run that shit show. Dumb characters aren't as one-dimensional as they seem, and it's pretty cool when they have those moments of clarity that really bring out the best in them. Are there any dumb characters I missed? Leave a comment and maybe I might make a second part based on your suggestions. I'd love to hear from you. Cheerio!